Self-host your N8N instance is super easy, and there are a couple tools that you can use for that. In this video, we are going to see how deploy your N8N instance on Render, Raywheel, Heroku, and Docker for locally. Let's start with Render. Render is super easy to deploy your N8N instance because if you don't have any account, you can click on get started with account and you can use your Google account for that. I already have account and you will see this dashboard. Maybe this dashboard could be changed in the future. And basically you have to understand that you have to look for deploy web services and here apply existing images. And here we have to look for images on Docker. If you don't know very well what is Docker. Docker is a kind of containers where you can store images. It's not images, store up small pieces of programs or logics. Let's look for Docker images. Look for Docker Hub, and here in Docker Hub, you have to look for N8N, this N8N, AO, N8N, and just copy and paste the URL, and you can see connected. We can leave this option as a default. That is for hobby projects. We are going to select the free option. That is so cool related with self-hosted N8N instance is that you can assign your own resources for your instance and it will be cheaper than pay the N8N subscription, that's for sure. If you want to add any environment variable, but it's not the case, and just click on deploy. And you can see here is deploying. We have just wait a couple minutes maybe. Finally, the deploy has been finished. And here we have our own link for own N8N instance. Just opening, I already opened here. We have to create account. I have to say that maybe the server is not the most faster because we assign the free resources for that and can take some time for some stuff. Once it's already logging, always when you create a new instance of N8N, you have to fill this formularium, but well, it's expected. Let's say whatever here, like Google star, and skip here, and that's it, guys. Basically, and you can see here that is your own N8N instance. As you can see, it's not the most faster, and maybe you can assign a little bit more resources for that. Nice. Now we are going to use Raywheel. That is my favorite, guys, because this has a really good balance between prices and easy to integrate. Because maybe Amazon Web Services is more cheaper than other services, but this with only a couple clicks, you can deploy your backend, your server, and even your N8N instance. And you can see here you have to create account if you don't have one. It's super simple. Once you already have, remember this always change the layout, but you have to look for deploy templates because you are going to use a template of images. And well, here I have N8N, but basically you have to write down N8N, and this guy just have a really strong and with a lot of downloaded image. You just click there. You can see there is a couple images that you are going to deploy the worker, and then primary and Redis and Postgre. That is for cache, and that is a database just in case you want to use a database in your instance or in your projects. And deploy, they could take a couple times, but when you see this, that is working for you, just waiting. Once all images has been already deployed, you can open the primary and you will have a URL, and you can assign your own URL, your custom URL. Let me know in the comments if you want a video related with that. And you can see here, it's pretty the same that with Render. I prefer Raywheel. That is not a sponsor video for sure, but this is much better services in my opinion. Let's see, I want to receive. Then even has been much faster than Render. Let's fill this form. and let's say from Google, skip, and boom. You have basically all you want, guys. And we can start. Let's take a look if we have the NCP that has been launched a couple days ago. In the day that this video was recorded, we have a so updated version of NNN because we have the NCP here. Pretty nice. The next tool that we are going to use is a classic one, Heroku. But write down Heroku, NNN, GitHub, and just this. This you have to look for this GitHub uh, URL. I'm gonna left this URL on the description of this video. And here there is a button, deploy to Heroku. Click on there. I already have account on Heroku, but you can create one. You can use your Google account and it will ask you for authenticator code, generator code. You can use a Google authenticator. And here, let's say NNN test sim and let's left this as a default. This as a default as well. And default encrypto key. You can even add your own encrypto key. Let's say sim NNN YouTube, and you can assign a name here. Oh, pretty nice. And just click on deploy. If you has take a look, all these tools only need fill a form and click on deploy. That's pretty nice. Let's wait a little bit. Once the deploy is already done, we can go to the website or the URL. We can click here in view, on view. As you can see, it is a we have the name here. We can create our own, well, let's say we use this. We are going to create, even is faster than render as well. Maybe a little bit a comparison between performance between the tools, and skip this, and you can use NNN in your own host or instance. And let's see, the same. We already have the MCP server that is one of the last updates from NNN. The last one is one of my favorites as well, is using Docker. Basically, you have to download Docker. You can go here, click on download, and select your favorite option or your needed option. I already have Docker, even is open, and basically that you have to see, you want to know is that you have to download the images. It's the pretty same that we already done with render, and you click on images, search images to run, and here you have to write down NNN, IO NNN, click on pull, wait a couple minutes, waiting for the download. This basically is downloading the images. It could take a couple minutes. Once it's already downloaded, you have to click on there. Oh, sorry. You have to click here and show the click run, open setting, and here we have to fill it, the form. Let's use the same form for the path hosted. Okay, here is where we are going to store our NNM. And let's create quickly. Let's see what is the path. This is the path. Assign here the path and container path. I have this for here. Assign here and environment variable that's no needed for this video is outside of the scope. But if you want to add some login or some security, you have to assign some variables. And when it's done, just run. And you can see here is running on localhost, open here, and it's the same as the rest. But here is in your own machine. It's even faster than render as well. Every time that we create a new account, we have to do that. Keep this. It's really nice. Lovely, guys. And here even, as you can see, something so cool about when you are using self-host NNN is you have community nodes that is nodes that the community create that is so helpful, but sometimes this is not allowed in the first or the main version of NNN. I prepared these images using Sora to see the advantage and disadvantages of use self-hosted to NNN. Basically, when you paid the NNN service, the subscription, you have a limited workflow, a limited workflow activation. Basically, you have with the first one, I think you can only enable 5 workflows, but when you're with your self-hosted, you can have whatever you want, how many you want enable workflows. It will be even more cheaper because I think NNN is a little bit expensive, and this you only will pay for the infrastructure, but the disadvantage that you will have to keep updated the version of NNN and have to be careful to don't delete the data. Maybe basically you have to have a little bit knowledge about infrastructure and development. Now you have your own NNN instance hosted in whatever tool that you want. As you can see, we already deploy our own NNN instance in a couple tools and even locally. But if you are nothing, if someone have your URL can use your instance of NNN. That's you can solve this adding security for your instance. But if you want to learn how to do that, let me know in the comments and I'm going to create a video about it.